We are back. This is Fourth and Wine, and my name is Sasha. We missed last week just due to some hectic scheduling, but we are here. Week 14, at least for the Eagles, is now over. We played the Panthers at home and came out with a win. So today we're going to talk about that, talk a little bit about Jalen Hurts, next week's game, our playoff push, and this is Fourth and Wine, so you know we are going to try wine. We're going to try a Pinot Grigio I've been looking forward to tasting for some time and get a little bit into that. So keep listening. You're checking out Fourth and Wine. All right, so let's get into this wine. Well, first, let me say this. I will not be editing this episode. I don't have time. So it's going to be live and direct for this episode. Anyway, now let's try this Pinot Noir. Was I saying Pinot Grigio this whole time? Let's try this Pinot Noir that I bought a few weeks ago. I thought about having it for Thanksgiving, but decided against it. Decided to go with a Chardonnay instead, just based on the meals that we had that day. But here we are. This is called Bar Dog. Let me get this situated here. Get myself together. Anyway, this is called Bar Dog. That is the brand of wine. It is made in California. It is a Pinot Noir. These grapes were harvested in 2022. The bottle is cute with a blue capsule on the top, neck covering. And it has a picture of a cute little dog on the front. How cute. Not as cute as my dog, Sunny, but cute. But yeah, simple bottle. And on the back of the bottle, it just says, my best friend, bar dog, companion partner, bone vivant, always by my side, in my kitchen or at my dog-friendly bar until it's time to go. Like Bar Dog, we love this wine unconditionally. So will you. So pretty much this wine is, like a dog. It's your best friend, according to the creators. And they also state that they proudly donate to local animal rescues across North America. This wine was bottled in California, and I think that's pretty cool. So if you like animals and pets, go pick up a bottle of this. They will donate to local animal rescues. Very nice. 13% alcohol. 2022, the grapes were harvested. And something about California, I was reading, California produces over 90% of all the wine made in the United States, which is insane. But I guess that's just the climate in California. Big state, stretches, different climates. And Pinot Grigio, I keep saying Pinot Grigio. Pinot Noir is very difficult to grow and make it into a fine wine. So the fact that they're able to do this in California is pretty cool and amazing. The Pinot Noir grape variety, also a little fact, the Pinot Noir grape variety is grown in California over 500 miles of land and vineyard. So that is a lot of territory to make this wine. This wine pairs very well. When you think of red, it's kind of easy to just say red, with like red meats, pork, beef, things like that, roasted pork. It also pairs well with mild cheeses. It goes really well with charcuterie boards. So if you're a charcuterie girl or a gal or guy, pour up a glass of Pinot Noir and try it out. So let's try this out. And this will be my first time trying this. So let me open it. And I got my, you can probably hear me opening it. And I got my big red wine glass for this as well. Y'all, I still got a cork in here from the last time. Gotta take that bad boy out. But let's open this up. Yes, I'm a cheater. I didn't get the other cork because sometimes I don't want to have to play around with that. Then be embarrassing myself and stuff on video. Don't nobody got time for that. But let's pour it up. So they say a big glass to let out the pheromones. No, I'm kidding. Let out the aromas of the red wine. It is obviously red. It's pretty clear and thin, ruby. It looks like cranberry juice. It's very still, not very acidic. When I swirl it around, it has some legs. And you could kind of see them around the glass. They're kind of fast moving, and not super thick either. But smells really nice. Smells like smoke a little bit. Cherry. Let's give it a taste. It's pretty well balanced because I can feel it in all parts of my mouth. So like on my gums, on my tongue, back of my tongue. And also it has my mouth like salivating. Lots of moisture. It's like describing it sounds insane, but a lot of moisture. It's really good. I also like red wines or drier wines. I'm not a big sweet girly, but if I have to rate this wine, which I do because that is what I do, I'd give it, I'd give it like a 4.4 out of 5. Out of all the Pinot Noirs I've tasted, this one tastes really elegant and it wasn't expensive. I spent about $11.50. At least I think I did. I bought a few different wines. I think it was probably around $11 or $12. I got it from the local wine and spirit store because in Pennsylvania, you got to buy all of your alcohol out of a wine and spirit store. I always say that, and that is not the truth anymore. You can now go to the supermarket, but all supermarkets do not sell wine and beer. But a lot more of them do now, but just wine and beer. You can't buy liquor. So I probably was on a liquor trip because I got this one out of the wine and spirit store. Anyway, so if you want to go pick this up, you could probably go to any grocery store, but I got it from the state store. Such an old school thing to say, state store. But I got it from the Fine Wine and Good Spirits store. So go check it out if you want to try a Pinot Noir. Goes really well with roast pork, red meats, and if you still got leftover Thanksgiving dinner, which I hope you do not, because that's nasty. It goes well with that as well. But cool. Let's keep this show rolling. And let's talk a little bit about the game today. There we go. Y'all, I think I got a piece of the foil from the wine bottle in my glass. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about the game. Let's get into this Eagles game. I try to keep these things, short and sweet. But today we got the win. Eagles got the win over the Panthers, and it wasn't a pretty win. It almost looked like it was getting ready to be an upset. Grant Calcaterra actually got his first touchdown today in the NFL, which I had no idea he didn't have a touchdown yet in the NFL. That was shocking to learn today. But seeing as though Dallas Goedert has been, tight end number 1, and he has been our guy, and now he has been placed on IR as of Saturday, December the 7th, until the end of the season, I believe. So Grant Calcaterra, it was his time to step up and get his moment, get his shine. He always comes through with a few big plays here and there, but I guess he never had his touchdown. So shout out to him. That's exciting for him, and it was a touchdown in a much needed situation. We needed to get something going on offense. As far as Dallas Goedert being out, it's his second time being injured this season. I was actually looking up his injuries, and he's been injured quite a few times. Last year, he had the forearm injury where I think he broke his forearm. I think the previous year he had a hamstring injury. There's just a list of things. So, yeah, last year he had the forearm injury, and this year he had the hamstring injury, and now it's a knee strain. In 2022, he had a shoulder injury. 2021, he had a concussion. 2020, he had three injuries. Now, that is something to be said about Dallas Goedert and where that is heading. But that's up for the Eagles to decide on, next steps when it comes to Dallas Goedert, because it doesn't seem like he can stay healthy, as great of a player as he is. But on a happier note, the player of the game, let's talk about a few of the players of the game. Overall, it was a defense, and it was Darius Slay and CJGJ coming through when we needed them the most. Darius Slay on the final Panthers drive of the game, and CJGJ with a much-needed interception. And Bryce Young's first interception in like over 100 and something pass completions or attempts. So a weird stat, but that's what they were talking about today. And CJ broke Bryce Young's streak. So shout out to CJ. Always comes through, and he made a really good play and tackle to start the game off as well. Saquon, always amazing. Saquon rushed for over 100 yards, 108 to be exact, and broke the franchise record in his first season as a Philadelphia Eagle, which was previously held by LaShawn McCoy. Funny thing about LaShawn McCoy, funny story. I met LaShawn McCoy when I was 19 maybe or 20. I was working at the bank, and he came in to cash a check, and it was a decent sized check. One that you got to get clearance for and have multiple people sign off or whatever, but it was pretty cool. And I tried to get him to open up a checking account at the bank that I worked at, and I was all weird and awkward, and I was like, "Can I have a hug?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure." He was really nice about it, but all like a weirdo, I went over there and gave him a hug. And this old head in the bank was like, Shady, acting like he knew him from way back when. But no, it was really cool because he came in the bank, he waited in line, and the whole time he was waiting in line, I was like, oh my God, I hope I get to help him. It's such a funny story. And in that moment, I just did, what am I supposed to say? He's a regular person, so it's not much you can say. But it's like, sometimes you feel like, dang, maybe I should have said something cooler. I don't know. Anything. But anyway, fun fact about Sasha. And then also Devontae Smith with a touchdown this game. So thankfully, after CJGJ's interception, we were able to convert that into 6 points. So we got the touchdown. Devontae Smith had 4 receptions for 27 yards and his touchdown. And one thing about Devontae Smith's involvement this season and as of late, I'll say that I don't appreciate are the screens that they throw to Devontae. He's a smaller guy, and I feel like with him breaking tackles with the opposing defenders, it's like, why is that the play? Devontae is good when you throw him a good, friendly, deep ball. You let it go for 20 plus yards. He's gonna catch it right at the sticks, whatever. I think that's what Devontae is good for. I feel like you can throw a couple, not short, but shorter passes to like guys like AJ Brown because they're a little bit bigger. They could break tackles. They're going to move, shake. I mean, Devontae's shifty, but let a defender come at him. I hold my breath all the time. I hold my breath. He's a smaller guy. Another thing, defense struggled a little bit in this game. Our defense number 1 in the league, and rightfully so, but it didn't look like that today for sure. Jalen Carter, however, balling. He has been amazing. Now, Cooper DeJean today, he looked like a rookie in the NFL. He was going up against Adam Thielen, who's a vet in the slot. Adam Thielen was giving him work the whole game. I was like, dang, Cooper don't know how to, he calls himself the exciting whites. I don't think he knows how to cover the whites. Maybe I shouldn't say that. I don't know. But they call themselves that. That is the name of the duo, him and Reed Blankenship. They call themselves that. I didn't call them that. Anyway, the Panthers also ran the ball very comfortably today, 34 attempts, and did very well on 4th down conversions. So defense struggled there. The Panthers went 3 for 5 on 4th down, which is insane, and made a lot of things happen. And in one instance, went for it on 4th down. I almost thought it was an interception. So I feel like defense is, good, but the guy who made all the interceptions, Reed Blankenship, is out due to injury. And we miss Reed and his interceptions today. Because maybe we could have had a few more. Who knows? But shout out to CJ because he did get one. So you can't forget about that. So, my nerves with this defense, today they struggled against the Panthers, which is strange, but the Panthers have been doing increasingly better over the last few weeks defensively, and their defensive coordinator is being brought into conversations about possibly getting a head coaching job. So they're doing something right over there. Now, my nerves with defense is starting to happen. They're getting worn down. Safety, Reed Blankenship, like I said, he's out. Slade was pretty banged up over the last few weeks. He played a lot of games, but I feel like Slade was playing through a lot of pain. But today he balled out. CJGJ, he got banged up a couple times today. Went into the medical tent, laid on the field for a little bit, missed a play or two. That is concerning. They are getting banged up. BG is now out for the remainder of the season. It looks like they might be getting a little tired, a little wore down. So I will say a prayer. Say a prayer with me for our defense. Say a prayer with me for our offense as well, that they all stay healthy. But moving along, after the game, all of the reporters, they go in the locker room, they talk to the players, and the thing that was going off was AJ Brown. He was not happy after the game. Now, during the game, I noticed him and Devontae Smith were on the sideline talking. It didn't seem like they were like arguing with each other, but they seemed frustrated. It didn't seem like happy conversation going on. So the reporter asks, and I believe the reporter is Elliot Shore Parks, what are some things you think the offense needs to improve on? And A.J. Brown simply said, passing. And I think that's true. I think that's true. But every time the game is over, I think, man, is Jalen really struggling that badly? I'm watching it and I see him struggling, but I'm like, numbers wise, like, is he struggling that badly? Last week, I got a post from a friend comparing Jalen Hurts stats to Josh Allen's stats, and they were very similar. So it's saying, why isn't Jalen maybe in the MVP talks, et cetera, et cetera? And I'm like, maybe he's not that bad, because on paper, at least for a better part of this season, he didn't seem horrible. So I wanted to look into a few stats and take a deep dive, comparing Jalen Hurts to himself. I wanted to compare 2022 Jalen Hurts, Super Bowl run Jalen Hurts, to 2024 Jalen Hurts. So his completion percentage is about the same. In 2022, it was 66.5%. This year, it is actually a little bit better at 68.4%. My dog might bark. Yep, she will. His quarterback rating, it's about the same as well. In 2022, it was 68.3. Currently, it is 65. Then his passer rating, still about the same. 101.8 this year, 2022, 101.5. So when you look at all of this, you're like, it's about the same. He's averaging 8.2 yards. He averaged 8 yards per throw in 2022. Things look similar. But Jalen Hurts missed 2 games in 2022. So to put some things into perspective, right now, Jalen Hurts is throwing the ball about 25 times per game, compared to 2022 when he threw it 30 times per game and only played 15 games that season. So he's throwing the ball significantly less. Now, realistically, this is by design, because we are a heavy run the ball, ground game offense. Saquon, Jalen, Kenny Gainwell. When you get a guy like Saquon Barkley, who is this productive, who is this explosive, you hand him the ball. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles. However, I do have to agree with AJ somewhat, because there does appear to be moments where Jalen struggles to get rid of the ball and doesn't have a receiver open. He makes throws late. He makes poor decisions, maybe in moments where he should pass, maybe in moments where he should hand the ball off and run. Something about the play, how it developed, and what Jalen decided to do is nerve-wracking. And I feel like some of that comes from the RPOs, but I won't get into that too much right now. But I will talk about, for example, in the Panthers game, Jalen did a fake handoff to Saquon Barkley. He keeps it instead of handing it off when Saquon could have made a lane. But he attempted to pass it, didn't find an open receiver, scrambled around. I guess he was going to try and go for it, or he was going to back up out of the pocket and attempt to throw it to a receiver. I don't know what his thought process was or what was happening in that particular moment, but he got sacked. And then it became a loss, and then put us in a 3rd and long position that he bailed us out of. But we get into these moments quite often because of some of his decision making. Now, my full assessment of Jalen Hurts is that he is not the same Jalen Hurts of 2022. And that's fine. There's a whole team around Jalen Hurts. But my concern is that I know and I have seen glimpses of where Jalen Hurts can pass the ball. He can be accurate. And it's very inconsistent. We just see glimpses of this. He's always in MVP conversations, but it's like, yeah, but something about it is not 100%. And maybe this is why he lost the job at Alabama. I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there. Now, he plays well enough right now, but is this playoff run good football? Will we make a playoff run with Jalen Hurts playing the way that he is now? And honestly, I think we will. Maybe compared to a few of the other teams and how they've been winning, this is the NFL. Like, games are tough, games are hard. Compared to the Lions, they've been pulling out wins. So have we. We've been fighting it to the end, and our defense comes in and does what they need to do. The Chiefs have been winning by the grace of God and the refs. Green Bay has been very inconsistent, but do we think they're going to make a deep playoff run? I don't know. I don't think so. They're pretty inconsistent, but they're a good team. The Steelers are probably the realest thing I've seen. Like, if we're being honest, as far as, I'm not saying who's the best in the NFC, but I think the Steelers have been consistent in what they've shown us, good or bad. Like, you know who they are. The Lions have kind of been winning it by chance, winning it by a field goal. The Vikings, they'll probably be a challenge. Don't get me wrong. I'm worried about any team we have to go up against, because if you know the Eagles and you've been an Eagles fan long enough, you know how this game goes. But the Vikings have beat up on some pretty bad teams this season and lost to the Lions and the Rams. So are they real? Can they keep up with a true contender? I think we're true contenders, especially with having Saquon. And speaking of the Lions pulling out wins by field goals and things like that, we have been in some pretty tight situations, and that might be due to our friend, Jake Elliott, who surprisingly has been struggling all season long. Coming into this game, I believe Jake Elliott was 0 for 5 in field goals. He has, I don't know what it is about what's in the water when it comes to these kickers, but some of the best kickers in the league, the Ravens kicker, Justin Tucker, Jake Elliott, they all have been like crumbling apart this season. And maybe we are learning that the kicker lifespan is a lot shorter than we thought, than in previous generations, because, you know, a lot of hip action, a lot of wear and tear. They've been kicking deeper balls than I feel like they've been doing in the past. A lot of these kickers are doing 60, 61, 62 field goal kicks, which is insane, but that takes a lot of hip work, footwork, and everything else. And Jake does make me nervous, and he started to make me nervous as the season has progressed. And I feel like his performance now leaves the door open for Nick Sirianni to be overly aggressive, which he did a lot in 2022. So, okay, maybe. But I hope Jake figures it out for the playoffs, because there are going to be some tight moments where we're going to need him to step up, because our offense has been looking a little stagnant when it comes to passing. We've got the ground game down pat. And I think the fact that we've leaned into that a lot more this season has helped us become successful. And because we've got freaking Saquon Barkley, and I pray that he stays healthy. But I don't want this team to lose faith in Jake Elliott, because that could kill anyone's confidence, morale. Two things I need this team to do is continue to have faith in your kicker and continue to have faith in your quarterback. We have seen them at their best and we have seen them at their worst. So we know that the potential is there, and you have to continue to have faith that they will get there. They will pull that out. They will dig deep and win you some games. And they have been. I mean, they have been. We won 9 straight. But you got to stick beside them. This wine is really good. But next week, we are playing the Steelers. Right? We are playing the Steelers next week. Oh, Lord. I don't know why I always second guess myself after I already looked this up. But next week, yes. We are playing the Steelers at home. And I'm excited to see the game. Am I confident we'll get the win? Full transparency, no. I am not confident. I'm scared. I'm nervous. Many people doubted Russell Wilson when he was in Denver. Thought he might be washed. Thought it might be over for him. But in this new environment, Russell Wilson has been able to thrive. With this defense, the Steelers are elite. And they've been making a push. They won their game today against their division rival, the Browns. They are in a division with the Browns, the Bengals, the Ravens, and them. Yes. Yep, those 4. And they are leading the division. The Ravens are 8-5. And the Steelers are 10 and I want to say they're 10-2, but I need to double check that. No, 10-3. 10-3. But yeah. So the Steelers have a top defense in the league, especially when it comes to the run game. And they are good on third down. And we struggle with putting ourselves in third and long positions. We get in these positions where we're either not running the ball or Jalen just makes a bad game time decision. And we end up in these third and long situations that the Steelers have an answer for. The Steelers are weak when it comes to passing defense, so they probably don't have any strong corners. But let's be real about their line. Let's be real about their edges. They can bring some heat. And passing, while they're weaker there. I wouldn't say weak, but weaker than the run game defense. Jalen has struggled to pass, or has been, let's say, he's been inconsistent with passing. And he has done it significantly less this season, which could just be a Saquon Barkley situation. But I think it also has to do with his confidence of not being able to throw the ball accurately, not being able to make the reads quickly enough, and being fearful of getting interception. But that Steelers defense and Russell Wilson, who can move around, doesn't move around as much as he used to, but he can move around. That team is formidable. So next week, we'll see. But next week, I'll try to get on here. Hopefully, I'll have some time, but with work and everything else, this is a busy time of year. I'm sure y'all are busy as well. Holiday time, getting ready, getting prepared. Things get a little hectic, but make sure you tell your friend and tell a friend and tell a friend to listen to Fourth and Wine. Pick up a bottle of Pinot Noir, the Bar Dog 2022 California wine. Like, love, subscribe, do all those cool things. Tell everyone about it. But until next time, peace.